He waited alone for his blind date, until a little girl said, "My mommy's sorry she's late." The evening lights of the cafe flicker softly against the glass, reflecting the quiet rhythm of a city settling into night. Silverware clinks, coffee machines hiss, laughter drifts faintly from other tables, the kind that reminds you you're alone. At a corner table near the window, Ethan Cole stares at the tiny flame of a candle. His phone rests beside an untouched glass of water. He checks his watch again, the third time in 10 minutes. His expression says what his heart refuses to admit. He's been here before. The cafe was warm, but the seat across from him stayed cold. He'd been on enough blind dates to recognize the pattern, the waiting, the silence, the slow sinking feeling that maybe tonight would end like all the others, with nothing but the echo of his own hope. Ethan exhales, forcing a polite smile at the waiter passing by, pretending it doesn't sting. He straightens his jacket, checks his reflection in the window. The glow of the streetlight outside catches the faint tiredness in his eyes, the kind of exhaustion that comes not from work, but from trying again and again to find something real. Just as he reaches for his wallet to pay the bill, a tiny shadow crosses the floor. A voice, small, clear, and innocent, breaks the monotony. "Excuse me, are you Mr. Ethan?" He turns, startled. Standing beside his table is a little girl, no more than 4 years old, her curls tied with a pink ribbon, clutching a small purse against her chest. The air in the cafe seems to pause. Conversations fade, spoons stop clinking, and for a moment, all you can hear is the soft hum of curiosity. He thought he'd come here looking for love, but fate had sent someone else instead. Before we continue, welcome back, dear family of hearts. If you've been following our stories, thank you for always being here. Your support means everything. And if you're new to our channel, you're in for a story that might just change the way you look at love and timing. Make sure to subscribe, tap the bell so you never miss our daily dose of real-life inspired stories, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments below, because stories like this one connect us all. Ethan looked at the child, unsure what to say. What could a little girl possibly want with a man sitting alone on a blind date? Ethan blinks, half smiling in disbelief. Yes, I'm Ethan," he replies slowly. "And who might you be?" The little girl straightens her back, her small voice polite and certain. "I'm Lily. My mommy said to tell you she's really sorry she's late. She's parking the car. She said not to go away." She speaks with the confidence of someone who knows she's doing something important, tiny hands clasped tight around her little purse. The irritation that had been building inside Ethan melted faster than he expected. This wasn't how blind dates began, not with pink ribbons, tiny shoes, and perfect manners. But something in the girl's tone felt real, like honesty untouched by grown-up complications. Ethan chuckles softly, the corners of his tension-creased eyes softening. "Your mommy sent you in here all by yourself?" Lily nods proudly. "She showed me your picture on her phone, so I'd know what you look like. She said you'd be sitting by the window with a candle, and you are." She looked up at him with the kind of certainty only children possess, the certainty that right is right, and love always shows up eventually. Ethan gestures to the empty chair across from him. "You've done a good job, Detective Lily. Would you like to sit while we wait for your mommy?" The little girl hesitates for just a second, then climbs into the seat, her legs swinging above the floor. She places her tiny purse on the table, like it's a business transaction. She folded her hands, studying him as though deciding whether he passed an invisible test. Lily leans forward, whispering softly, "Mommy says I shouldn't talk to strangers, but she said you're not a stranger. You're her friend." Ethan nods, smiling gently. "Then your mommy's absolutely right." For a moment, silence stretches between them, the good kind. The candle flickers. Somewhere in the background, a plate clinks onto another table. And then, with complete seriousness, Lily asks, "Are you going to marry my mommy?" Ethan almost drops his glass of water. Excuse me, what?" There it was, the question no dating app or small talk ever prepared him for. Before he can respond, the cafe door opens. The bell jingles. A rush of evening air slips inside, and in it, the sound of hurried footsteps. He turned toward the sound, and the moment his eyes met hers, he realized this evening was about to take a turn he never expected. Ethan clears his throat, still caught between amusement and disbelief. "Marry your mommy?" he repeats, smiling. "That's quite a question." Lily blinks, perfectly serious. "Mrs. Henderson, she lives next door, said my mommy needs a husband. Mommy said it's hard, 'cause some men don't like kids. Do you like kids, Mr. Ethan?" Ethan opens his mouth, but before he can even form an answer, A soft voice cuts through the room. Lily! The cafe door swings open. A woman hurries in, slightly out of breath, brushing a lock of hair from her flushed face. She carries that mix of elegance and chaos every parent knows well. A bag on one shoulder, keys in hand, apology written all over her expression. She kneels beside the little girl. Sweetheart, I told you to wait by the door, not to go looking for him. Turning to Ethan, she gives an apologetic smile. I'm so sorry. I'm Isabel, and this little explorer clearly didn't listen. Ethan waves a hand lightly. No harm done. She's actually been great company. Lily beams. I found him all by myself, Mommy. And I told him you were parking the car. Isabel exhales, half relieved, half mortified. The way she looked at her daughter said everything: love, exhaustion, pride, all tangled together in the same breath. Isabel stands, straightening her coat. I should have told you I have a daughter before we met. I didn't want you to feel. Ethan interrupts softly. To feel what? She hesitates. Judgment. Most men don't stay once they know. A pause. The cafe hums quietly around them, but for that brief second, it feels like the world is listening. Ethan looked at her, this woman caught between courage and apology, and then at the little girl still swinging her feet under the table. He didn't see inconvenience. He saw honesty. He smiles gently. Then I guess I'm not most men. And just like that, what began as an awkward encounter started to feel like something real, a moment that didn't need perfection to be perfect. Isabel lowers herself into the chair, setting her bag aside. For a moment, she looks like she's trying to decide whether to apologize again or simply vanish through the floor. Ethan gestures kindly toward the chair across from him. Please sit. You don't owe me an apology. Lily already handled that for you. Isabel exhales, relieved but still uneasy. She shouldn't have come in alone. I was still fighting with the parking meter, and by the time I turned around, she was gone. Lily beams, proud of her independence. But I found him, Mommy. I did a good job. Ethan laughs softly. You did, Detective Lily. Mission accomplished. Isabel smiles despite herself. It's the kind of smile that slips through the cracks when your heart wants to stay guarded. Isabel looks down for a moment, then meets Ethan's gaze. I should have told you earlier that I'm a mom. It wasn't fair to keep that from you. Ethan shakes his head. You don't owe me an explanation. I guess I just wanted one evening where someone saw me before they saw the stroller, Isabel murmurs. Most people stop listening once they hear the word single mother. There it was, the quiet honesty most dates never reach. Not on the first meeting. Not at all. Ethan leans slightly forward, sincerity in his tone. If anyone walks away because you're raising a child, they're walking away from something extraordinary. Isabel blinks, caught between disbelief and gratitude. In that single moment, the tension broke. What began as an apology turned into understanding. And for the first time in a long while, Isabel felt seen, not for her situation, but for who she was. Lily tugs at her sleeve. Mommy, can we order pancakes now? They both laugh, and for the first time that evening, Isabel truly relaxes. The conversation shifted, light, easy, almost natural. What started with lateness began to feel like timing. The right kind. What began with apologies and awkward smiles slowly turned into something else, something effortless. Ethan signals to the waiter, and soon plates are placed between them. Isabel thanks him quietly, and Lily claps her hands at the sight of a pancake drizzled with syrup. Lily's laughter bubbles up, light and unfiltered. Mr. Ethan, do you like cartoons? Ethan chuckles. I think I used to. Maybe I should start watching them again. Isabel hides a smile behind her napkin. Careful, she'll quiz you on every character before dessert. The laughter that followed wasn't forced. It was the kind that fills spaces that used to echo. The camera lingers, forks clinking, Lily's small fingers reaching for her juice, Isabel's relaxed posture, Ethan's eyes softening each time he looks at them. Isabel glances at him, a quiet thought slipping through her guard. You're not what I expected, she says softly. Ethan tilts his head. And what did you expect? She hesitates, then smiles faintly. Someone ready to check his watch and run the second he saw a child. He laughs quietly, not defensive, just honest. Maybe I was that man once. Not tonight. The distance between them began to shrink, not with words, but with understanding. It wasn't romance, not yet, but it was something rarer. Peace. A brief silence follows, only broken by Lily humming to herself, swinging her legs happily beneath the table. Ethan takes a sip of water and studies Isabel. Not the way you look at someone you're trying to impress, but the way you look at someone you might finally understand. Sometimes connection doesn't arrive with fireworks or perfect timing. Sometimes it's just a quiet evening, an honest laugh, and a child reminding two adults that life can still surprise them. By the time dessert arrived, the room felt smaller, warmer. Not because the lights had changed, but because something within them had. Lily sits focused on her coloring sheet, crayons scattered across the table. Isabel smiles, watching her daughter trace wide, looping hearts. Ethan studies the scene quietly. He speaks after a pause. "You know, Lily asked me something earlier," he says with a slight grin. Isabel looks up, curious. "Oh, what did she say?" Ethan chuckles softly. "She wanted to know if I was going to marry you." Isabel covers her face, mortified. "Oh no, she didn't." "She did," Ethan interrupts gently, still smiling. "And honestly, it caught me off guard." He wasn't laughing at her, he was laughing at himself. The irony that a child's innocent question had stirred something he'd ignored for years. Ethan sets his fork down, glancing out the window. The city lights blur into faint golden halos beyond the glass. "I've spent the last decade building a company, chasing deadlines, and calling it success," he admits softly. "But I go home to an empty apartment every night. I thought that was fine until now." Isabel listens quietly. She doesn't rush to fill the silence. It wasn't a confession meant to impress her. It was just truth, the kind that sounds heavier when spoken aloud. Ethan looks at Lily, then back to Isabel. "Watching you two tonight, it reminded me that the best things in life aren't things at all." Isabel's eyes soften. For a moment, she doesn't speak. Then quietly, "It's rare, meeting someone who actually sees that." Neither of them realized it yet, but something had shifted. What began as coincidence was starting to feel like alignment, like maybe for once, timing had chosen them. A year passed faster than anyone expected. What began as a chance meeting over cold coffee and shy apologies had quietly turned into something far deeper. A life being built, one ordinary day at a time. He learned that being part of someone's world isn't about grand gestures, it's about presence. He traded boardrooms for bedtime stories, late meetings for movie nights, and found peace in places he never thought to look. Lily's small voice breaks the montage. "Mr. Ethan, you still can't braid hair right." Ethan laughs. "I'm improving. Slowly." She shakes her head dramatically. "You're a good cook, though. Mommy says your pancakes almost taste like hers." Isabel enters with a smile that says more than words. "Almost," she teases, setting a cup of tea beside him. Some people chase love their whole lives, expecting fireworks. For Ethan, it came quietly, through laughter that wasn't his own and warmth that didn't need to be earned. As the evening light filters through the window, Ethan glances at the calendar pinned on the fridge. One small date circled in red, their first meeting anniversary. He'd been planning something special, something that would return them to where it all began. 1 year later, they were back where it all began. Same cafe, same table, same quiet flame. But tonight, Ethan wasn't waiting for anyone. He was ready. Ethan stands as they approach, smiling. "You two are right on time," he says. Lily grins, climbing into her favorite chair. "I told Mommy we can't be late to the place where we met my almost daddy." Isabel laughs softly, shaking her head. She's been saying that all week. They order dessert, pancakes, of course. As the waiter leaves, Ethan clears his throat, a nervous tremor hidden beneath his calm smile. He kneels beside Lily first. "Hey, detective," he says. "I need your help with something really important." Lily's eyes widen. "A case?" "Kind of," Ethan says with a smile. "I want to ask your mommy a big question, but I need your permission first." Lily tilts her head, pretending to think. "What question?" "I'd like to ask her to marry me. That would make us a family. What do you think?" The cafe seemed to fall still again, just like it had a year ago. Only this time, the silence felt full of meaning. Lily grins, crossing her arms dramatically. "Only if you promise to make pancakes every Sunday and learn how to braid hair." Ethan laughs softly. "Deal." He turns to Isabel, eyes steady but warm. "You and Lily showed me what love really means. Patience, laughter, and second chances. You gave me back something I didn't realize I'd lost, purpose. Isabel, will you marry me?" Tears fill her eyes as she nods, unable to speak. Lily claps her hands so hard that nearby tables look over. "He said it. He really said it," she squeals. The cafe erupts in gentle applause. The waiter smiles. The candle flickers one last time, brighter than before. They were married 6 months later, with Lily walking proudly down the aisle as the flower girl, reminding everyone she was the reason they had found each other. In her wedding toast, Isabel said, Sometimes love doesn't arrive with roses or perfect timing. Sometimes it's delivered by a little girl with a pink ribbon who refuses to wait by the door. Love doesn't always come the way we expect. But when it does, when it walks in on tiny feet and calls you by name, it has a way of changing everything. Before we end, thank you for watching this story to the very end. If this touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more real-life, inspired stories of love, courage, and second chances. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And if you believe, like Lily did, that sometimes the smallest voices bring the biggest miracles.